To call this Finance Committee meeting to order. The first item we have is assignment for request for council action. There's several for finance. We have 2217 expenditure state bid, MNJ Tech, Dell Computers, monitors and licenses. 2218 expenditure over 15,000 solid ground construction chip home repair. 2219 RFP for fiscal year 22 chip and CDBG consultant services. 2220 accept donation from Mary and Susan Van Epp, MCC Indoor Bicycles. 2221 RFPs for liability and property insurance coverage. 2222 conflict waiver of interest, Lindenwood Lake Dam Improvements Project. 2223 cooperative purchase rubberized flooring at MCRC Messina Floor. 2224 expenditure over 15,000 for Kaiser Corp MCRC Indoor Bicycles. 2225 job creation grant agreement Expert Crane Inc. 2226 grant application Ohio Department of Development 629 roadwork. 2227 petition to Join JED Southtown Center LLC. 2228 expenditure over 15,000 solid ground construction chip home repair. 2229 bids job number 1061 Gates Mill culvert replacements. 2230 construction agreement Woodside Green subdivision phase 2. 2231 expenditure for Baker who's that? Dubliker, Beck, Wiley, and Matthews Law Department. 2232, 2021, 2025 financial audit. 2233 purchase agreement for 368 Foundry Street, and 2234 land acquisition for the airport. The next item we have is 21263 developer agreement for 5990 Branch Road LLC. Is this Mr. Huber or Kimberly? Which one?
Kimberly can start. I just told Mr. Huber we're ready for him.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. As council is aware, we have been talking about the Expert Crane project, which is to bring a manufacturing company to the city of Medina, actually in the CETA area. So we've been discussing the terms of the developer agreement, which the city's responsibilities and the developer's responsibilities, and who's going to cover what costs and the timing of that. And I believe the attorney for Expert Crane, which is Mr. Hustler, has been working with our law director, Greg Huber, on the developer agreement. Council had passed a resolution of support back in January. And so this is I don't know if it's an amendment or what we're calling it, but Mr. Huber's here now, so turn it over to him. You're
Okay,
up.
thank you.
This agreement is a new draft that was prepared by Attorney Hessler. We've been through the language. I approve of the language and advise that we get this in front of the council as soon as possible, so that is why we're here.
I think the one issue that we spoke about and what we're going to be working on in the future is to try to make a determination on how the reimbursement would work for the installation of the sanitary sewer line. I know, Mr. Huber, you and I had some conversations on that, but I think that we could work through those issues to find a solution that is beneficial to, you know, our goals and the developer goals from what we talked about.
That's correct. Our ordinances may have to be changed or modified in order to accommodate what was originally discussed.
Okay, good. Is there any other kind of questions on it? Everybody have a chance to look at the development agreement? It seems like we're heading in the right direction. I know we have representatives from the company here. I don't know if they have anything they want to add, or if you could go to the microphone right behind you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Nathan Hessler. I'm here for Expert Crane, and I'm here with Mr. and Mrs. Doty, who are also here in attendance. I'm happy to answer any questions or give you an outline of the project, but as the law director discussed, we've been through all the language and we find it very acceptable.
We appreciate that, and hopefully we can work to solve any other open issues that we have so that, you know, we can get this project going and make sure that everybody understands what direction we're going to be heading.
Thank you, President.
Thank you. Any other questions from anybody? Comments?
Mr. President,
Mr. Rhodes?
I just want to thank the Doties for bringing their business to Medina. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Shields?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 3 is 2216, a state bid for City Hall server upgrade for Technology Engineering Group. Who is this? Mr. Zaremba.
Thank you, Mr. President. This item is moving forth here is the city's server infrastructure and disaster recovery farm was put in 2013, so we're 10 years old, closing in, and it's out of date, and we need to do some upgrades. We went through emerging technologies with this last week. I've got my IT team here, Harvey Ballas with TEGOH, as well as Justin Fields. And before I go into the specifics of this server project, I want to do just a quick history lesson because we have new council members, and it's been a while since 2013 since we talked about this, so I want everybody to have an idea where we've been and where we're going. About 24 years ago, when I started to help out with the city of IT, the city with the IT, we had AOL dial-up connections at every computer on this side of the building. We had multiple firewalls between fire department and city hall. We had multiple email servers. And one of the things we did very fast and swift was to bring in and consolidate the city and bring it under one roof, one umbrella, one IT structure, and one build. It started with one physical server, and it had an exchange, which is email, and it had file serving and print serving, so it was kind of a simple environment, but it served. As we've grown over the years, we're up to 23 virtual machines. In 2013, when I came to most of you that were on this panel to do a server farm upgrade then, I made a promise to try to go green, for lack of a better words, and go virtual. And what that meant was take 3 physical servers and put 23 servers on those 3 physical servers. And that's what we did with a device called a SAN, network storage device. And we've been running that for the last almost 10 years. And the last couple of years, we've been fighting with some of our support vendors to get support for them because they don't want to touch these old pieces of equipment, as you can imagine, anymore. So we've crossed that road in that juncture, and we started doing the research last year on where we would be going to get another 10 years. I mean, the goal always has been carry the city inefficiently on a cheaper dime as best as we can, and make sure that all the operations are up as much as we can. We have very minimal downtime. That's one of the things I am most proud of our team, is trying to eliminate that downtime for our end users and our city staff. So when we reevaluated, and I don't want to get real technical, but the current structure, they call it 3-2-1. We have 3 servers, we have 2 switches, and we have a network storage device called a SAN. It's a very traditional build, and it was very big back in 2013 and before. And technology's changed, as you can imagine, and there's a new technology out there called Scale, and that's the one that we're going to recommend for this rather than doing another 3-2-1 technology. It works a little bit different. It offers us much more benefits, and cost-wise, it's actually a savings. One of the things that we've struggled with as of late is build-out, meaning we've filled up our SAN. We have a 40-terabyte SAN, and we've filled that space up. It's not very easy in a traditional 3-2-1 build to expand out. So with this Scale environment, it allows us to do that. We can continue to build, if you will, picture like Legos. If we need more space, we just build it out. We just keep building. So when you amortize this over the 10 years, it's a more cost-effective solution. It's very easy to implement. It's very easy to manage. So from that standpoint, that helps our team. We are a limited team of 3 people. And it also, in this day and age, is allowing for the more ease of remote working. So we saw with the pandemic that became something, and we had to scramble here at the city to allow people to be able to remote work. So this type environment and this type system allows for that much easier, and scalability are the 2 keys. So with that, our request is to move forward with this project. It will entail also not only our City Hall bunker in the basement, which is our server farm with these 27 virtual servers, but the disaster recovery bunker that we have at the high school. We took old equipment when we put this one in, and we moved it over there, and then we've kind of piecemealed over the years. So it's not only end of life, it's really end of life, if there's such a thing. And so what we want to do in this whole project is get us our new DR and get us our new server bunker at the same time. And we do have a little bit of equipment in our current system downstairs because the rec center's in bad need of a server. We're going to build them a little mini mirrored 3-server farm environment there with the equipment that's still good here. So we're passing that down to save some more cost, both to the rec center and the city. I am going to be requesting the emergency clause on this. One of the things that we've run into is in today's world is supply chain. They're telling us, if we got these things in place by the end of February, we might see our gear in May. If we wait after that, who knows? And I would really like to get this project done this year, just because of Dell's not going to support us for our current sand. So that's the reason for the request on it. And with that, I'll take any kind of questions you may have.
Mr. Rose, you got any updates on your?
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple of things. This has already been implemented at the Muni Court.
Yes, sir.
And once we get both sides in and running, there's going to be some compatibility things that we'll be able to leverage and take advantage of. Along with that, we're removing our dependence on the cloud. Both Darren and I abhor the cloud. Just look out there and see what they've done to oil pipelines and the like. I'm not going to say we're going to be impervious to attacks, but we're going to reduce the chances of those attacks by implementing this solution.
Okay, any other
And
questions?
it did pass the Technology Committee 3-0.
Mr. Simpson?
Yes. The only comment I have is I am the newest member of the Emerging Technology Committee, thanks to Mr. Quinn. And I was also probably the most with the least knowledge about the emergent technology. But I got to tell you, the meeting that we had between Darren and Harvin and Justin, they educated me in that short period of time. I mean, I did read over everything before the meeting took place, but I would recommend anybody on council that is not up to date where they should be to make time to sit down with one of those three gentlemen and have them educate you a little bit, because it is really needed. I do support it, and I want to again publicly thank Darren and Harv and Justin for their time spent with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
One more comment.
Yes.
Currently, we're using a backup software called Veeam. We'll be moving, when that maintenance runs out, we're going to be moving to Acronis, be a new copy. It'll be a separate charge over what we're paying here, but that'll be later in the year. Okay?
Move to approve with the emergency clause?
Second, including emergency clause?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, 2217, state bid Dell Computers monitors licenses for MNJ Tech. Sergeant Zareba?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is our yearly renewal for PCs. There's a little bit of a caveat on it with the monitors this year. The computers are basically, we're about 100 computer farm here citywide, not including rec, they're their own entity. And what we've been trying to do is cycle PCs on a 4 to 5 year cycle. We're seeing them last that long and function well for that long. So this is this year's block, just as it was last year's, of about 24 computers is what we're going to order, including 24 licenses for Microsoft Office, which is the Excel, the Word, and the Outlook. That's no different than what we've done in the past years. One of the things that's different, with a little caveat on the order, is the monitors. It's 24 monitors. I haven't ordered monitors in a bulk ever in 20 years, 20 plus years. I've always taken them as they come. We've got monitors here that are still from 2013 as well, and every gamut in between. And what's happened over the years, the technology's changed from VGA cables, which are pin connectors, to HDMI, and now they've moved to a display port. And we've, along the way, bought little adapters to try to make these converters. And then what we find is we chase our tail at the desktops because people's computers' monitors go dark and these little converters hiccup, and we at that. So this year I finally decided that we would bring the monitor scheme into that picture as far as getting it up to date. So what we've been doing along is replacing a few here and there as needed. But in this case, we feel like the best solution at this point is get all our monitors up to speed here, get them up to date, that we won't have to piecemeal them throughout, and we'll be to for the lack of a better word, the latest technology. And then, you know, I've battled with this over the years. Do I put them in a cycle like I do the PCs and try to order so many a year and do that? I don't know that that's the answer yet. I really don't. I'm struggling with it because I see myself being able to get 10 years out of monitors. So I hate to just buy monitors for the sake of buying monitors if the technology is somewhat relevant. But if they go from DisplayPort to something else and it becomes that, well, then we'll have to revisit it. But that's the only caveat on this year's PC order.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mr. Rose, any update for you?
No, I'm very comfortable with his plan. Thank you.
Any update?
Wait, one more thing. Sorry, I forgot the emergency clause.
Of course. For the same reason as before.
Same exact reason.
All right, we understand.
Thank you.
Move to approve with the emergency clause?
Second, including emergency clause?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 2218 has been removed from the agenda. 2219, RFP and RFQs for CHIP and CDBG consultant services. Who's going to handle this one?
I think I am.
Oh, there you are. Barb?
It's time to apply for the next CHIP grant, which would run for years 2023 and 2024. We have to request proposals for those, and so we'd like to start doing that now because they need to be in as soon as possible. The decision has to be made in May.
Okay. Any questions?
Move to approve with the emergency clause.
Second, including the emergency clause?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2220, accept a donation for Murray and Susan Van Epp MCRC Indoor Bicycles. Mr. Worley?
Thank you, Mr. President. About a month ago, I wrote a letter to Murray and Sue Van Epp in regards to a potential project that I thought they might be interested in at the Recreation Center. Since we have remodeled Community Room A and made it into a studio, we brought back spend cycling classes. Since March of 2021 through January of 2022, we've had approximately 350 attendees participate in these classes. And we're currently running them Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and hired a second instructor. So the program started to take off. What these are indoor bicycles, and Murray Van Epp is an avid cyclist and has a long-standing history of being and supporting the community. So I reached out to him to see if he might be interested in funding replacement cycles for our studio. The original bicycles were purchased between 2003 and 2005 collaboratively with Medina City Schools, and we're currently down from 26 cycles to 11 that are barely functioning. So this donation will fund 12 Kaiser bikes, which are specially designed for indoor cycling training. They're top of the line and also enable users to use them independently without an instructor with a mobile app. Murray was very willing to fully fund the project and appreciated that I reached out to him. So in order to try and acquire these as quickly as possible, I turned in the request to accept the donation. The check is on its way. We have not received it yet, but we will have it by council. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Just make a comment to thank the Van Epps again for always supporting the city so many different ways. Move to approve.
Second, and I concur with Mr. Shields. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2221, RFPs for liability and property insurance for the city. Mayor Hamel?
Thank you, Mr. President. We apologize. This is requesting the emergency clause also. We have a group called Crane Langner that helps us when we do these liability insurance updates, and we reviewed it last year and made a determination that it was 4 years, but with the cost of insurance and the market today, their recommendation was to let it run 1 more year and hope things settle down a little bit. So lo and behold, we get to the end of December, and the writer of our insurance policy made a determination, not just our city, but they were not going to insure municipalities at all, which then put us on the edge of the cliff there that we have to do something now and do it in short order. It expires April 1st, so we put together a condensed timeline to try to get the RFPs out, get the information in. There's a time for questions back and forth, and try to get the whole thing wrapped up by April 1st. So as a result of that, we're asking, this is just to solicit for the proposals, but we're asking for the emergency clause so we can get this process started and not waste any more time.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Move to approve with the emergency clause.
Second, including emergency clause?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
2222, conflict of interest waiver for Lindenwood Lake Dam Improvement Project. Mr. Huber?
We have a construction issue with the riser that was installed at the Lindenwood Lake Dam. The law firm McDonald Hopkins has an attorney that wishes to represent Mark's Construction in this issue. McDonald Hopkins is also the attorney that handles our bond issues. This document waives the conflict of interest so as to allow them to represent Mark's Construction. I've talked to this lawyer. I think it'd be helpful to be able to work with him, try to work through this process with that law firm.
Thank you. Any questions?
The emergency clause, Mr. Huber?
We'd like to get started with the discussion as to resolution of the construction problem as soon as possible, essentially, is the reason for the request for emergency clause.
Thank you.
Move to approve with the emergency clause?
Second included in emergency clause?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2223, purchase and installation of rubberized flooring for the MCRC. Mr. Worley?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Recreation Center's respectfully requesting the approval and installation of rubberized flooring in our free weight balcony area. The balcony was added to the facility in 2010 and houses our free weights. And over the last 11 and a half years, the floor has taken some significant abuse with the free weights, bench presses, and so forth. The floor is in disrepair. It's delaminating. The handicap ramp is actually curled, causing some trip hazards. It's the worst floor in the facility and is on the 5-year capital plan that we have with Medina City Schools. With the recent use of ARP funds to complete our flooring in our Studio A, formerly the Community Room A, we've decided and asked the school if we could bump this up on our project list utilizing carry forward funds so we can get this taken care of and have a safe surface. The material that is being quoted is a 1-inch thick rubber designed for weight rooms, and we're looking to have the handicap ramp and a thinner material better designed for smoother access. The purchase is utilizing Sourcewell contract, cooperative purchasing program through a turnkey flooring contractor who has experience with this type of flooring. It is a new vendor. The amount of the project is $29,750, and we're requesting to use our carry forward funds to complete this purchase. We also need authorization for Mayor Hanwell to sign the contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Coyne?
Yes, Ms. Shields?
I'm going to need to abstain since it will go to my employer, this flooring. So.
Any other questions? Is there a motion?
Move to approve?
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries. 2224, expenditure of $15,000 for Kaiser Corp. MCRC Indoor Bicycles. Mr. Worley?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is for the purchase of the bicycles that I previously discussed through the donation from Murray and Susan Vanette.
Thank you. Any questions?
Move to approve?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2225, Job Creation Grant Agreement, Expert Crane, Inc., Mrs. Marshall.
Thank you, Mr. President. This request is for council to authorize the mayor to enter into a job creation grant agreement with Expert Crane Incorporated for the purposes of relocating their business to the city of Medina. This project will allow them to construct a manufacturing facility located at 5990 Branch Road, which is also known as our CEDA area that we have with York Township. Expert Crane will have an estimated investment of $10,500,000 $10,510,000 into this project, and they have committed to creating 48 new full-time positions with new payroll of $3,980,000 to the city of Medina. They're hoping to break ground spring, summer of this year and have their facility constructed by December of this year. So the actual job creation would happen in year 2023 and 2024. The agreement will provide Expert Crane Incorporated with a grant up to 40% of new payroll taxes for 6 years. The Business Development Committee met with the company on January 27th and have made a recommendation to council for their approval. We are respectfully requesting the approval of the job creation grant agreement. It has been reviewed by the law director and approved. It has also been reviewed by the attorney representing Expert Crane, Mr. Hessler, who's here this evening. And the dollar amounts that what council would be agreeing to for that 6-year term, if they were to just meet that exact dollar figure, we'd be paying out a little over $119,400. And then, of course, we allow for that 25% overage. So on the high end, we'd be looking at $149,250 in that 6-year period. And just as a reminder to council and the public, the grants are funded from non-income tax generated revenues.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you on that. 2226 grant application, Ohio Department of Development, 629 roadwork grant. Who's this? Mrs. Marshall.
That's still me. Thank you, Mr. President. So this request is for council's authorization to submit a 629 road grant application with the Ohio Department of Development in conjunction with Jobs Ohio. If awarded, the grant will be used to improve Branch Road from Commerce Drive to the westerly limits of Medina City Lot 8875 and install storm sewer to drain the roadway. This is the lot known as the Fruit Turner Lot property. The grant has an estimated value up to $85,000, covering 30% of eligible road work costs, including engineering and design costs related to the job creation project for Expert Crane. The project budget is still being determined, but estimated roughly right now at $325,730. Finally, please note that in addition to the authorization to submit the grant application, this request asks that if we're successful, the mayor be authorized to enter into an agreement with the Ohio Department of Development accordingly. We are requesting the emergency clause so that we can get the offer from Jobs Ohio expires at the end of March. So they need to get this on the controlling board agenda down at the state of Ohio to secure and appropriate the dollars for the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Move to approve with the emergency clause.
Second, including the emergency clause?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you. 2227, petition to join the JED for the Southtown Center LLC. Mrs. Marshall?
Thank you, Mr. President. Southtown Center LLC is located at 5827 Worcester Pike Road in Medina. It's actually in Montville Township. The parcel number is 030-11A-01-010, and they would like to join our joint economic development district that the city has with Montville Township, and they have completed the petition form accordingly. The JED board met on December 21st, 2021, and they have also voted to include them in the Montville Township City Medina JED, and I believe the township was also adopting their, through their township trustees, their ordinance or whatever they call it over there. This project is a retail project, and the investment is estimated at $6.6 million. They will have 3 retail buildings. Estimated square footage, one is roughly 22,000 square feet, one is 7,500 square feet, and the other one is 3,500 square feet. So roughly total with the 3, it's 33,000 square feet, and they'll be able to house probably between 10 and 12 different tenants. The estimated payroll for the project is a little over $2.5 million, and they'll have a variety of positions, roughly 20 full-time, 55 part-time, some temporary and some seasonal positions. So we respectfully request council to adopt the petition for them to join the JED. Thank you.
Thank you. And this will also include, and I don't know if we need a separate ordinance, I think we probably do, the ordinance to amend the JED agreement itself. This is to accept the petition to join the JED, and then we need an amendment to modify the JED agreement.
Yes, because we have a new one coming in.
Yep. Any other questions?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2228, expenditure of $15,000, solid ground construction for the chip repair. Mrs. Dessert?
Thank you, Madam. The first one that you eliminated, that 0118, we contract with Ohio Regional Development Corporation. They're our consultants for the CHIP grant. And in the past month, they've had two changes in personnel. And so 018 came in a lot lower than when the new team got into the house and could see the work that needed to be done. They needed to raise the amount, so it's now at 19,000. So we're going to hopefully adopt 028, approve 028.
Okay, any questions?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2229, bids for job number 1061, Gates Mills Culvert Replacements. Mr. Patton.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a project we planned. It is an Ohio Public Works Commission project, which means we've secured a grant to pay for up to 73% of the cost of the project. It's estimated at $512,000. One item we need to discuss, as you know, the last two culverts we did on Broadway and Spring Grove, council authorized decorative railing to be installed. We needed to decide if we want to install decorative railing here as well. We've estimated the cost to go from just a standard tube rail to a decorative railing to be approximately $19,500.
Thank you. And I guess just from my perspective, I think we have to. I think we've been doing it for all the different communities, and we can't leave out a different neighborhood just because of that. Any other comments or questions?
I agree.
On that?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2230, construction agreement Woodside Green subdivision Phase 2. Mr. Patton.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is considered a subdivision. In actuality, it's only about 100 foot of roadway. This will connect two dead-end streets in the city and create, I believe it's 2 new lots. As part of our subdivision ordinances, we are required to enter into a construction agreement with the developer. They have submitted it, and we're submitting it to you for your approval.
Think any questions?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2231, expenditure for Baker, Dubliker, Beck, Wiley, and Matthews Law Department. Mr. Hubert.
The Baker Dublicar Law Firm is defending the city of Medina in 3 lawsuits that are pending at this time. This request puts in an estimate as to what litigation this year may cost. I'm not sure what the expense is going to come out to be exactly, but hopefully it covers the expense. If there's more needed, I may have to come back to council and see how this develops.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Mr. President?
Mr. Rose?
Mr. Huber, is the lawsuits that you mentioned, are they from the Stop Government Waste Committee lawsuits?
Are they from who?
Are these the lawsuits that we're still in with the Stop Government Waste?
2 of the lawsuits have been filed by the Walker and Jock Law Firm. One is pending in state court, common pleas court. The second is pending in the federal court, also filed by the Walker and Jock Law Firm. The third piece of litigation involves the public meetings lawsuit that was filed by Attorney Lowry, where the Baker Dublicar Law Firm is defending Judge Warner. And in that lawsuit, I'm defending the mayor and our council president.
Okay, thank you. And those individuals that you mentioned are a part of the Stop Government Waste Committee. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2232, a 2021 and 2025 financial audit. Mr. Durham.
Thank you, Mr. President. The way this works, so you understand, is the state determines who our auditor is going to be, and then we have to agree to it, but we don't really have much of a choice. They've already determined who's going to do our audit. There may be an adjustment to this, and we mention it in here. This is why we asked for up to $40,000, where the estimate is less than that, but the estimate is based on one federal program. There's a couple things that could change that. One would be extra federal programs, obviously, that they had to audit. Pardon me, my mask is coming off. The other thing is that if there's new statements from GASB that change the way we do things, they have to go back and do restatements, and they have to audit those, and that entails additional costs. So those are the parameters of what's going on here. The emergency clause, I apologize, is frankly my fault. When we worked with the state, we would do this memo of understanding. They would bring it to the planning meeting, and then by then we usually knew if we had a extra federal program to do or a restatement that we were going to have to audit, so we'd know what the final cost would be. When we're with a private firm, the state requires that we have this agreement signed before they start. So when we have the planning meeting, if there's a change, we'll have to come back a second time. So I didn't realize I had to put it in and then come back if there's a change rather than putting it in only one time.
Thank you. Any questions?
Move to approve with the emergency clause.
Second, including emergency clause?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2233, a purchase agreement for 368 Foundry Street. Who's doing this one?
This is,
Mr. Huber?
this is an agreement that I drafted for the purchase of the 368 Founder Street property that the Parks Department hopes to add to the park that is over there. The purchase price is $71,000. The property owners have agreed to that sale price, and this authorizes the transaction to proceed.
Any questions?
Mr. Huber?
Mr.
The property tax, does that come out of the 71, or is that over and above? Who's paying the property tax?
The back due property taxes will be paid at the time of closing, and it will come out of the $71,000 purchase price.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I entertain a motion to add 2234 to the finance agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion on adding ordinance, 2234 to the finance agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. 2234 is a land acquisition for the airport. Mr. Huber?
This request asks council's authorization for me to negotiate purchase of property immediately to the east of the airport. This is 30 acres of property. It would allow for the expansion of hangar space, a better maintenance building, and is part of what the Delta Engineers is incorporating into a new airport layout plan. The hope is to buy this property and then submit the purchase to the FAA for reimbursement.
Any questions?
Move to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Is there anything else that needs to come before finance, before we entertain a motion to recess into executive session?
With that, I will make a motion that council goes into executive session at 6:10 PM for the purpose of conferencing with the law director of the city concerning disputes involving the city that are subject to pending or imminent court action to involve the law director and the mayor, or include the mayor and the law director.
Second?
We will be recessing to executive session and taking no action when we come out of executive session, and then we'll adjourn from finance. Will the clerk please call the roll to recess into executive session?
Lamb,
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Shields.
Yes.
Coin.
Yes.
Simpson.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Hazelton.
Yes.
Motion passes.
We are in recess.